Guys, we've got the top 101 NFL free agents. That's a lot of free agents. Holy shit. But I'm just going to quickly go through this list. It'll give you guys a good overview. Who are the top free agents ahead of the NFL free agency that's kicking off on the 14th. We, of course, have the Combine that is starting tomorrow. It's February 28th. Wait, is it 28 days or 29? I think it's 28. I believe it's 28. So this says, 2 quick notes. Players who receive the franchise tag or agree to a new contract before free agency negotiation windows open will be removed from the list. So basically, players that are franchise tag eligible will be on this list, which I'm sure you assumed considering there's freaking 101 players on this list. How long is this going to take? I'm going to quickly go through these players. Number 1, Devonte Adams. My prediction, he probably gets franchise tagged. I know people out there, you're wondering. The Packers keep maneuvering their cap. Aaron Rodgers, could he be going back to Green Bay? Guys, I'm on record over 3 weeks ago saying I guarantee the Packers trade Aaron Rodgers. They would need to do this, cap restructure anyways, whether Aaron Rodgers was coming back and they were going to have to pay him or not. They are so far over the cap. The New Orleans Saints are doing the exact same thing. Those two teams were around $58-60 million over the cap. Both of them have to significantly restructure contracts, turn certain things into bonuses to get under the cap. Whether Aaron Rodgers would come back or not, they had to maneuver stuff. They were $60 million over the cap. Devonte Adams probably going to be franchise tagged. Unless, of course, he wants to sign a long-term deal with Green Bay, which I would find hard to believe if Aaron Rodgers does leave, like I think he will. We've then got Chris Godwin, who is currently sitting in franchise tag hell. Last year he got franchise tagged. This year there are rumors that he's going to get franchise tagged. We'll have to see about that. I would love him to leave that hellhole in Tampa Bay and go somewhere else. He's a great receiver. I'd love to see him on a team like the Browns. Nothing against Tampa Bay, nothing against their fans. You just, at some point, you can't be franchise tagging a guy 2 years in a row. That's just disrespectful. Come on. CJ Jackson, number 3. Really, this is the perfect guy to use the franchise tag for because he had one breakout season, but it's like you got to show me something again. We'll have to see if he can do that. He looked like, a really good shutdown cornerback last year. He seems small. I don't know how, can we get a height reading on this kid? How tall is he? Oh, he is 6'1". No, he's not small. 6'1" is not small. I just wanted to see how tall he was. So he is number 3, and the latest I've heard about him, there's really been no communication between him and the New England Patriots, although it is early, and the Patriots, of course, can just franchise tag him, which I would recommend them doing. Again, he's kind of had that one breakout year, but you need to prove it again before I give you a big contract. Next, we've got Tehran Armstead, Armstead would be the number 1 on this list, if not for injury history. This is a franchise left tackle. He is 31. So you're looking for a shorter deal. You would guess teams probably only going to go 2, maybe 3 years at the most. But yes, he is a top 5 tackle, and he is available due to the horrible cap situation the New Orleans Saints currently have. It's going to be very tough for them to re-sign him. Then we've got Orlando Brown. The Chiefs gave up a first-round pick for Brown in a trade. So yeah, he's probably not going to hit the open market. That makes sense. If you give up a first-round pick for a guy a year ago, I believe the Chiefs do not have the Chiefs didn't have a first-round pick last year. Yeah, that's what it was. The Chiefs do have a first-round pick this year. It's like pick number 30 or whatever. Last year they didn't because they traded for this guy, and they're going to, obviously be extremely incentivized to re-sign him. Not just because they traded a first-round pick for him, but because of you want to protect Patrick Mahomes. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. They're going to want to re-sign him. Mike Williams coming in at number 6. Mike Williams, guys, I got to be honest, I'll admit this, not my type of receiver. I do not like receivers that are like Mike Williams, who are streaky. They could go on a 4-game stretch where they have 700 yards, and the next 5 games they have 150 yards combined. I don't like receivers like that personally. If I was the Chargers, if I could give a word of advice to the Chargers, I would suggest they operate with extreme caution when it comes to Mike Williams. One breakout year, he's going to want this massive contract. His agent is going to want a massive contract. Look at maybe the franchise tag. Look at using maybe the franchise tag on a guy like Mike Williams. Von Miller. This is a guy that probably is re-signing with the Rams. They're kind of having their little love story. He gets traded to the Rams. He wins a Super Bowl. Von Miller, 2 Super Bowl rings now. he is certainly going to be in the Hall of Fame, probably first ballot, or extremely likely first ballot based on who gets in now. Von Miller, very likely short-term deal, re-signing with the Rams. Carlton Davis. Bucs coaches always talked about Davis like a true number one cornerback. Not exactly sure on his situation. He's about to become very rich if the Bucs use the franchise tag on Chris Godwin. So there's an interesting thing to note with Carlton Davis. This guy is very physical. He's a bigger, more physical cornerback, and if the Bucs franchise tag Chris Godwin, which would be so unfortunate for Chris Godwin, you want to secure a long-term deal. If they franchise tag Chris Godwin a second time, Carlton Davis hits the open market and gets a massive deal, avoiding the franchise tag. He could thank Chris Godwin for that if it does happen. I have not heard anything about where Carlton Davis is going to be signing. Chandler Jones seems like a franchise tag option for the Arizona Cardinals here. Jesse Bates. Chandler Jones had a really weird year where he had like 5 sacks in week 1 and then didn't do much after that, but he gets a ton of pressures. He does. Jesse Bates, I've heard the Bengals are going to try and lock him up under a multi-year extension. Tyrann Mathieu, this is the guy, he's age 30, so he's kind of right on the border. Does he get a 3-year deal? That seems like a lot to, investing into a guy into his age 33 season in the NFL would be tough. Probably a 2-year deal for Mathieu. And I have heard probably the Chiefs will be moving on from him. Marcus Williams, not sure on his situation. Mike Gesicki, I heard him potentially getting franchise tagged by the Dolphins because they really don't have anyone else to use the franchise tag on. And Gesicki, we really don't know what he is. He's kind of like one of those hybrid tight ends, maybe almost like a Dallas Goedert, where he's this big tight end, but he really isn't a blocker. Maybe, kind of like a Dalton Schultz with the Cowboys. So, yeah, I wouldn't be interested in investing in a multi-year deal. Excuse me. I mean, if Tua likes him, I guess, but I'm like losing my voice. I just swallowed a freaking... Excuse me. Allen Robinson. Okay, this is my first disagreement. I think Allen Robinson should be top 10 on this list, even if it's just at number 9 or number 10. I love Allen Robinson. Get him on a short-term 2-year deal. Maybe the Cleveland Browns sign him. That's the team I've heard about. Chicago, he's leaving there. He's going somewhere else. And if I was Allen Robinson, you're at age 29. That's tough. Allen Robinson's career really did get ruined by the Bears. It's so unfortunate because now if you're Allen Robinson, even if you sign a 1-year deal and put up 1,200 yards, you're in your age 30 season looking for a bigger contract. That's tough. Allen Robinson, his career was ruined by the Chicago Bears. Hopefully he goes to the Browns. This dude is a big-bodied, good receiver. Emmanuel Ogbah. You know who Okay, so I finally have found the David Ojabo comparison. It's Emmanuel Ogbah. I just thought of it. I literally just had an epiphany. I thought of it. Brandon Sheriff, really solid guard, but he's 30. There are reports that the Commanders are moving on from him. Harold Landry, kind of this lengthy hybrid pass rusher. Oh my goodness. I think Harold Landry could be the steal of free agency, honestly. Odell Beckham, major issues here with the unfortunate ACL tear. Who knows? So I'm guessing he's going to be resigning with the Rams, but that is tough. Ryan Jensen, who knows? Stephon Gilmore, age 31. My expectation with Gilmore, short-term deal, you would think, with a contender. Maybe a team like the Buffalo Bills could be interesting if they have the cap space for him. But yeah, he's still a decent player. Ranked number 20th. He's just old. That's the thing. 31. Dwayne Brown, 37. He'll turn 37 years old before the 2022 campaign kicks off. Nobody's given him much. Okay, Dalton Schultz. Guys, I got to be honest. I think Dalton Schultz may be my least favorite tight end in the NFL because he is all glory, no blocking. Like, I hate tight ends like that. Like, this dude literally is probably the worst blocker I've ever seen in my life. Like, seriously. If I was the Cowboys, I'd be like, see ya. I'm drafting Cole Tucker. I'm drafting someone else. Jameis Winston. Kind of an interesting thing with Jameis Winston. I have heard Jameis is very likely to potentially be back with the New Orleans Saints. I've also heard some rumors with the Bucs, although the Bucs have really been in it for like every quarterback, so we'll see. Randy Gregory over, oh my goodness. Jadeveon Clowney might be the most underrated player in the NFL. Nothing against Randy Gregory. He gets pressures, whatever. But, folks, Jadeveon Clowney. Did they say Gregory was an all-pro candidate? Maybe I'm not paying attention. Jadeveon Clowney is so underrated. I hope the Browns re-sign him. I'm hoping 3 years, $36 million, or something like that. Devonte Campbell. Apparently, he did have a really good year at the linebacker position. We'll have to see where he goes. Michael Gallup, I've heard the Cowboys want to re-sign him, although a team could offer him, wide receiver number 2 type money. Michael Gallup, unfortunately, suffering that injury mid-season, but this kid is a really solid receiver. He's an unbelievable wide receiver 3, which is what he was for the Cowboys. There's some interesting stuff going on with Amari Cooper, his future with Dallas. They're going to want to get Michael Gallup locked back up, but will Gallup want to stay being a number 3 wide receiver, or will he want to maybe go to a different team as a wide receiver number 2? Calais Campbell, I think this guy could be the steal of the offseason, another steal, 1-year deal, I would say. Guys, there's no way I'm going to get through 101 of these names. This would take me an hour and a half. I'm like losing it. Calais Campbell, he had a bad year last year. He only had 1 sack, but this is a veteran presence. I would love to see him ring chase. James Daniels. The one thing I know about James Daniels, he's from Iowa. I remember him vividly being drafted from Iowa, I think in the second round. I believe in the second round. Hassan Reddick, the former 7th overall pick. Great to see him. Melvin Ingram kind of had a weird situation with the Steelers. Ended up playing pretty well for Kansas City, I believe. It was weird when the Steelers... Yes, exactly. He agrees with me. It was a weird situation. He became a game wrecker. I don't remember that. I know he made some plays, but I don't know about a game wrecker. Rob Gronkowski, you figure he would retire with Brady, but maybe he wants to come back. A team I've heard to keep your eyes at with Gronk, the Buffalo Bills. Okay, I think we're just going to kind of sim through this. Teddy Bridgewater, decent backup quarterback. Yeah, Marcus May, former second-round pick. Russell Gage. You guys know the Atlanta Falcons have literally no receivers right now. Literally no receivers. If they trade Calvin Ridley, because I think he's demanded a trade, they have 0 receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster, that's a little disrespectful to Juju being ranked that low. But he's young, man. Teams are going to be in on him. They're going to be in on him. Cam Robinson, he seems a little low, but he's kind of just an average offensive tackle. Like, what is Cam Robinson worth? What is Trent Brown worth? These guys, it's such an important position, but they're just average. They're average players. It's tough. Christian Kirk, underrated. I'd love to see the Browns sign him. Cordero Patterson, he is 31. Man, he's already 31? Jesus. Evan Ingram is already 28. I remember Evan Ingram got drafted. I remember it in the first round 2 years ago. Folks, how is he 28? Will Fuller, he's got the issues. Oh, he had a PED suspension, a personal issue, and a broken finger. No, he gets injured a lot. That's his problem. The former Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Eric Fisher, I think the former number 1 overall pick. Fisher took his first snaps as a Colt in just 8 months removed from tearing his ACL and had the worst season. Oh my goodness. Connor Williams is the definition of average, in my opinion. Bryce Callahan, kind of an underrated slot cornerback. I like him. DJ Chark. I heard the Jaguars want to bring DJ Chark back on a short-term deal. James Conner, not a fan of running backs like that personally, like James Conner. Anthony Barr, he's 30, from UCLA, first-round pick. Valdez-Scantling. So I heard a rumor that the Packers didn't have the cap space to bring Valdez-Scantling back. That's the rumor I heard. What a name. Oh my goodness. Justin Houston, 33 years old. Penny. Wow. He was a former first-round pick. Casey Hayward, he's 32. Man, Leonard Fournette is... Okay, this is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. Leonard Fournette is better than 70th overall. This dude is good. Leonard Fournette, he may be the most underrated running back in the NFL. Leonard Fournette. I'm not saying he's like a top 2 running back, but Leonard Fournette is a good, really, really high-quality running back. Ranked 70th. Melvin Gordon actually had a pretty good year last year, too. Derek Barnett, the former first-round pick. The former Tennessee Volunteer. Arden Key from LSU. You remember him? Let's see some of these. O.J. Howard from Bama. I think he was a first-round pick. It never really developed there. Ndamukong Suh, oh boy. Peterson, he's washed, unfortunately, although I like him. Jamison Crowder, only 29 years old. He could be an asset for a team. That'd be interesting. Chase Edmonds, kind of a third down back type guy. Devin McCourty. You know, I was wondering. Okay, see, this is the worst one. David Njoku at number 94. He's 26 years old. And you've got him ranked below Devin McCourty, Austin Colbert, who was a complete bust as a second-round pick by the Browns, Patrick Peterson, who's washed. I do not understand the disrespect levels right now for, he's behind a punter? Oh, come on, man. They're disrespecting David Njoku so much. Hopefully the Browns are able to re-sign him. David Njoku, athletic freak. I love David Njoku. Kevin King, man, I think he was like an early second-round pick from Washington. Marcus Mariota, I heard the Browns were interested in Mariota as a backup option. If Baker gets hurt or something, maybe he's better than Baker. But that'd be an interesting backup scenario for the Browns if they get Mariota. Larry Ogunjobi, a former friend of the Browns. How about number 1, Andy Dalton? Oh, it's full circle, right? Andy Dalton. Why would you put Andy Dalton number 101? Andy Dalton does not deserve to be on this list. Nothing against him. But guys, those are the top 101. You know, we'll see what Devonte Adams does. Chris Godwin. I hope Chris Godwin doesn't get franchise tagged. That would be so ridiculous. You should not be able to franchise tag a player 2 years in a row. Why? Whoever is with the NFLPA, horrible. How do you negotiate something like that? I know he's going to be getting paid a ton of money, but if you're Chris Godwin, it's like, dude, I don't want to have a horrible injury here. Wait, didn't he? Yeah, he did have a torn ACL, but he still is going to get money. But I'm just saying, that whole thing where you can, I'm not letting that autoplay. The whole thing where you can, guys, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. It's whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.